I've seen a number of sisters who actually divorced only to become divorced as a first wife, only to become an incoming second wife later on down the line. Assalamu alaikum, peace. It's your Coach Nyla, one of the founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships, as well as co-author of the book, Let's Talk Polygyny Uncensored. When is it okay to walk away from your marriage? When is it okay to say, I'm done? I posed this question because this question was posed to us on a number of occasions. And I remember having those same thoughts in my marriage, in a failed monogamous marriage, as well as in my marriage in polygyny, to Coach Nazir. And it wasn't about, and there were different situations. So when do you say, I'm done? When do you say, I can't do this anymore? Now, the difference when it came to polygyny was that my thoughts of walking away, of calling it quits, of saying I'm done, didn't have anything to do with our marriage. It didn't. It had to do with how I felt that our marriage was affecting his other marriage. So would that have been fair? Would that have been okay? Now, in my previous marriage, it came from a lot of things. Came from lack of communication. It came from lack of consideration. It came from a lot of lack. We'll just say that. A lot of lack. I mean, it wasn't the greatest. It wasn't if I compare it to a lot of other people, it wasn't the worst either. However, it wasn't what I wanted. And it wasn't outstanding, and it wasn't in a position to be outstanding. It wasn't even in a position to be great. So that's the thing where you have to not compare, for one. Like I said, if it was comparison-wise, I'd be like, oh, well, it's not that bad. And sometimes we do that. It's not that bad. We usually say it's not that bad. Usually bad is that bad is that caveat. Bad is that word that's still lingering out there. So if it's not that bad, then it's bad, but not that bad. So that's the one thing when it's about minding your marriage. When is it okay to walk away? A lot of it comes from, it comes from minding your marriage. It comes from saying that, are we at a standstill, a stalemate? I can't tell people what to do, when to do it, how to do it. I will give you some best practices. I will give you some tips. I will give you some anecdotes. I will give you some stories. However, I did a video, a number of videos that I've done. I speak on choice. I speak on being intentional. We have our own choices. So I can't make anyone do anything. I can't make my children do the stuff I want them to do. So let alone make anybody else do that. So don't go around saying, well, Coach Nyla said, because that's not what this is about. But what it is about is knowing what you really want and not letting the noise of cancel culture and extreme selfishness rob you of something great, rob you of something that has the potential to be outstanding. Because sometimes people see their marriage. Let's talk about polygyny in this example here. A first wife can see that the husband is marrying again. regardless of how he did it, whether he did it first without telling her, whether he did speak about it, and she was okay at first and not okay, whatever the case may be. He married again. Not that he cheated on her or anything like that. He actually married someone else. Sometimes that's like, I can't deal with that. I can't take this. Because of whatever meaning we associated to our marriage, whatever meaning we associated to the act of him marrying again, whatever we associate the meaning to what our marriage is looking like right now, what we think is looking like right now, we still have a choice. It's still a choice. I've seen a number of sisters who actually divorced only to become, divorced as a first wife, only to become an incoming second wife later on down the line. Why? A lot of times because they didn't have what you have now. We didn't have that. In our first years, our first chapters of polygyny, we didn't have the coaches or the information that stated that this is what it can actually look like emotionally. This is what it can look like in practice. We had, this is what it should look like because these are the basics. This is the foundation. But feelings, emotions, and everything like that, it's very difficult to sum that all up because it can be relative. So the meaning that we put behind these things, we have to be careful about that. My co-wife, I love what she says. She said this on a number of occasions and a number of trainings and videos. She said, do not make a permanent decision on a temporary feeling. I think that's what she said. I could be paraphrasing, but that's what I got from it. And I love that statement. It's so beautiful. It's so profound, and it's so simple. We have Shaitan or Satan or the devil whispering in our ear because what he wants to do is destroy a marriage. And mind you, he's only messing with the ones that have some great potential or that's on the right path or doing the right thing. Because he don't have to mess with the ones that are already somewhere causing havoc and drama and everything like that. So it can sound all great in the moment. But if you're not sitting back and saying, what does that look like in the future? What does this temporary situation right here is going to look like? If I make a permanent decision on this right here, is this temporary or is this what my life is going to be like for the long haul? Can we communicate? Have we communicated? Did I do my due diligence? Did I do my part? Because that's what we can focus on, my part. Can we do that? Did we do that? If the answer is no, then it's about pulling out all the stops if it's worth it. That's what I did in my first marriage. I tried to communicate. I tried. We're going to say, oh, I tried this, tried that, didn't work, tried this, didn't work, tried that again. It didn't work. I said, you know what? I got to think about the bigger picture. I got to think about my children. I got to think about what the future is to be for them. Because I also did a video about we stayed for the children and now we cause some damage type of thing. That can totally happen. And I know people have this issue, this big issue with divorce. And for good reason. You want to stay together. You want things to work. But if it's not working, if you're at a stalemate, if there's no trying, if it's no growth, you gotta sit there and come to the crossroads and say, where do we go from here?